You're watching Cougar Tracks Game Day, powered by Bank of American Fork.
With Cougar Tracks Game Day here from Albertsons Stadium here in Boise, Idaho. BYU falls 28-27. They lose their fourth of the year. They go to 4-4 going into their bye week before taking on Cincinnati. Dave, you and I came to the game to see how this thing turned out for BYU. We made our predictions beforehand, and boy, I don't think anybody could have predicted how crazy this game ended up turning out for BYU.
Deep down the middle, it is caught at the midfield stripe. The 40-30 touchdown for Jeremy McFiring. End zone, catch made. Thomas Spurbeck, touchdown again. Attempt from Tyler Rossa. Snap is back. It's blocked. Deflected to BYU, and the Cougars off on the run.
I mean, it really was
another heart stopper, which is what it is every single game. I mean, outside of the Michigan State game, every single game it has been in basically the final play. I mean, it's shocking not only to us, but it's to the players. They talk about it afterwards. They're like, man, I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. It's just what it's been. It's been kind of the way this team has been. They don't give up. They stick with it, and at the very last play, it kind of has gone 50-50 for him with a 4-4 record.
Fourth down, final play of the game for BYU. Taysom sprints to his left, loads up, fires for the end zone, and the ball is batted around and incomplete.
Yeah, and you know, coming into Boise, it's already going to be hard, but when you get 5 turnovers and then you can't capitalize, you don't have any turnovers yourself.
And you don't turn the ball over at all.
Yeah, no turnovers yourself.
Ripping boots, settles in the pocket, fires up. Throws incomplete, intercepted. Fred Warner at the far sideline, picks it off and tiptoes the sideline into Boise State territory. The 40, the 30, stays on his feet, flag flies. Still on his feet, still running through tackles inside the 10, inside the 5, dives for the end zone. Is he in for a touchdown? The signal is touchdown, Fred Warner. And Knight are left. The throw is right, tipped up and picked. The Cougars have it, and down the sideline they go again. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown, Diane Lake. The handoff, McNichols. McNichols, oh man, he's into the second level. Shoots a big gap, and he's all the way out to near midfield. Fumble, and it's loose, and you know the Cougars have it. BYU football.
To have 0 themselves, BYU has won all their games this season, but now 5 turnovers they force, and then they don't turn over the ball themselves. They still lose to Boise State. So, Dave, our turnovers happen to be part of the deal. I asked you, would BYU force a turnover against Boise State, who was pretty good at going into this game of not giving the ball up? And
they'd only given up 6 turnovers all year long, and I thought, you know what, the one thing that this Kalani defense and Ituiaki's defense has done is they focused on stripping the ball, getting those batted balls and tip drills, and I felt like they would do it, and boom.
Yeah, Dave got it.
Finally an A+ for me.
I thought you were way off because you actually said, yeah, I think they'll get a turnover. They ended up forcing 5.
With 5. The question I had for you was, your 50-50, a really easy question was, these games have come down to it, and usually 2-point conversions have been involved. Was BYU going to have a 2-point conversion in this game?
Yeah, and I said flat out, no, and they didn't, but maybe in retrospect they could have used it.
BYU comes hard from either side. They wrap him up as he throws to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. What a reception made.
So another game where BYU goes down by a point and to a really high-ranked opponent. Yeah. That's tough for Coach Satake. And, you know, his kicking game, there were all sorts of things. There were all sorts of problems, but special teams matter, Dave Noriega. Okay, so on the yard side of things, I said that I asked you, Taysom Miller, who hasn't passed for more than 250 this year, I asked what his yardage would be for a game like today.
Yeah, I thought he would be what he's been all season long, which is
you nailed it.
Really wildly inaccurate. And 21 for 42 is just not going to cut it as a senior quarterback. And as much determination and, I'm sorry to say it, grit as he has and he's shown, the fact is there's passes that are being missed that have to be made. You think about even down the stretch, he had a wide open Moroni Laulo Putatau, and it wasn't that he just threw it low; he skipped it to him, and he was thrown across his body. And these are the kind of plays that just have to be made, and they're not being made. Yeah. I didn't see what his final yardage was.
187 on the yardage for Taysom. So. Kind of right what you had said.
Still nailing it. My predictions have been amazing
Why are you taking joy in this?
Because I'm dominating my predictions for once after weeks and weeks of catastrophic results.
Now, you asked me, I thought this was unfair. I thought it was mean. But you asked me about
I asked you how many agricultural advertisements, signs that would be shown.
Yeah.
And if you look around here at Albertson Stadium, one,
that's a grocery
you'll
store. Doesn't
see,
count.
and they have a lot of produce.
So we went through, and we'll throw up some pictures here, but we're not going to count up the ones that double up at the same company, okay? So it comes out to 4, it looks like. I said 5. I thought that was a pretty good guess. You said I was going to be way under, but I thought that was a pretty good guess.
Are you sure you counted like the halftime thing?
Well, I didn't see a cow come out and go, treat Idaho right and use Idaho beef. I didn't see any of that, but 4 official kind of signs or advertisements to the game. So not bad so far, and then we get to the scores. Dave, this is where you fall off.
No, it's where I nail it. I said a 1-point victory for the Cougars, and it just happened to be a 1-point victory for the Broncos. 1 point, nevertheless. You thought it would be a blowout because you're terrible at guessing.
I said Boise State would win 34-24, which I think after how well their offense was moving the ball, I thought it could have been really close.
I thought it was going to be 54-24 after watching those first 3 series.
They fall here at Boise State 28-27.
Perfect timing for the Cougars. They actually get a bye week. Jamal Williams didn't play, the second leading rusher in the nation, gets not only the bye week, but since this is a Thursday game, he gets a few extra days on top of that. He worked out, tried to get loose before the game. Didn't make a decision not to play until about 5 minutes before kickoff. And BYU, despite the fact that Squally Canada had a pretty nice game, almost 100 yards, still you're missing your superstar, you're missing your captain, your future NFL running back. Obviously devastating. You could really see where he would have filled in nicely. But nevertheless, a very entertaining game, exciting, great highlights, and still a heartbreaker, which has kind of been the story for BYU's losses this year. When they lose in spectacularly painful fashion.
Snap is back, good hold. Kick on its way, blocked by the Broncos. BYU has it, and Jurgens is tackled back at the 44-yard line. Loads up, fires for the end zone. And the ball is batted around and incomplete. Knocked down by the Broncos, and now the game is over.
Speaking of spectacularly painful, Dave, did you break your back this game?
No, thanks. Nobody hit me.
For Cougar Tracks
Big
Game
win.
Day from Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. BYU falls, go to 4-4 in the season. I'm Alex Kirry. He's Dave Noriega.
Cougar Tracks Game Day is powered by Bank of American Fork. Big city banking, small town service.